a little secret to help your orchid bloom 3 times faster. In this video, I'll share a very simple, easy to find fertilizer recipe that you can find right at home. It's extremely effective helping your orchids stay healthy, bloom again after the flowers fade, and continue to bloom. First, I'll prune the plant. I'll cut off all the withered and damaged roots to prevent the plant from losing strength. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to support me and so you don't miss any orchid care tips. It's great to have you as a companion on this journey. Any remaining old flower stalks will also be trimmed, allowing the plant to focus on nourishing new roots and shoots. Looking closely, you'll see that leaving these dry roots would only weaken the plant. Besides English, we now have voiceovers in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Hindi, and Indonesian to help you understand the content more easily. Listen in your preferred language by opening the video and clicking on the settings gear icon to select the appropriate audio language. In the next step, before starting any care or fertilization, I always do something very important: water the plant first. I lightly water the base and the entire root system, then let it sit for about 15 minutes. The purpose of this step is to awaken the orchid. Thanks to this, when I care for or fertilize the plant afterward, it will absorb nutrients much better, without shock or root drying. Next, I took the orchid out to the garden and began to fully awaken it. I lifted the plant and watered it about 15 minutes beforehand, so that the roots and growing medium would be evenly moistened. At that point, the growing medium would be clear and clean like this. The water would penetrate evenly, not cloudy or dirty. When the growing medium is clean, the orchid absorbs nutrients better and the care will be much more effective. Here, look at these 2 pots. The pot with clear water has a healthy plant and is very easy to care for. The pot with cloudy water, even with more careful care, will not yield better results. After this step, I will take the plant out and begin fertilizing to continue caring for the orchid. Next, I'll use onions as fertilizer for my orchids, something extremely familiar in the kitchen. During my daily cooking, I always save the onion peels. Don't throw them away. Few people know that onion peels are rich in vitamins and minerals, which are extremely good for orchids. When used correctly, the effect on orchid care is always noticeable. The plants become noticeably healthier. Onion peels act as a natural organic fertilizer and pesticide, helping orchids increase their resistance, stimulate root and shoot growth, and produce larger, longer-lasting flowers. On the Blissful Garden channel, you can also find many ways to make homemade organic fertilizers from familiar kitchen ingredients. These are not only cost-effective but also help plants grow sustainably. After removing the peels, keep the onion bulbs separate. Only use the necessary parts. Next, I'll start processing the onions. I take out a pair of scissors and chop the onions into very small pieces. I'll chop them into tiny pieces like this. The smaller they are, the better the nutrients will be released when soaked, and the orchids will absorb them more easily. Next, I'll get a container. Then, I peel the onions, layer by layer. Which country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. It's wonderful that we can connect and chat with each other from all over the world. Moving on to the next step, I'll pour about 500 milliliters of boiling water into the container. The hot water helps release the nutrients from the onion peel, making them easier for the plants to absorb. Then I stir it well to dissolve the nutrients. After stirring, I cover the container and leave it for about an hour. After an hour, my onion water had completely infused, with all the vitamins and nutrients dissolved in the water. At this point, I just needed to filter out the solids, discarding the sediment and keeping only the clear liquid. Thus, I obtained a container of natural, very clean, and nutrient-rich water, ready to use for caring for and nourishing healthy orchids. Next, I'll add some honey. Honey is a natural sugar derived from pollen, which is very good for plants, helping to stimulate root growth and nourish healthier shoots. I only added a quarter teaspoon of honey. Then, I added 500 milliliters of clean filtered water, which is half a liter, and stirred it well. Then, I stirred it well, allowing the honey to completely mix with the onion juice. When these two combine, they create a natural antibacterial and antifungal solution, helping to limit harmful insects from damaging the plant. Next, I'll take the orchid out to begin more detailed care. I take a soft cotton ball, lightly dampen it with a prepared solution, and wipe each leaf. I wipe the upper surface of the leaves to remove any accumulated dust and dirt, allowing for better air circulation and photosynthesis. I wipe the underside of the leaves more thoroughly, as this is where mold and pathogens often hide. What kind of orchids are you growing? Please leave a comment below so I can create a detailed, personalized orchid care guide tailored to the specific characteristics and needs of that orchid variety. I regularly care for my orchids this way, wiping the leaves about once every 2 weeks. This seemingly simple task helps remove dust and dirt, reduces heat stress, keeps the leaves airy, and makes them healthier. After each cleaning, I place the plant back in its original spot so it can continue to absorb sunlight and grow naturally. Next, I proceeded to wipe each orchid pot in the garden one by one. As I wiped, I observed that the long-standing dirt on the leaves had been completely cleaned. By this point, I had finished cleaning the entire orchid garden. The leaves looked much brighter and cleaner. After completing this step, I moved on to the next stage to continue caring for the plants. Next, instead of wiping, I switched to spraying. I poured all the prepared nutrient solution into the spray bottle and began caring for the orchids in the garden. Next, I took each orchid pot out and started spraying. When sprayed, the upper surface of the leaves was washed clean of dirt, while the underside was washed away of mold. At this point, the stomata opened, and the plant began to breathe and absorb nutrients very quickly. Nutrients gradually permeated through the leaves, into each cell, and then traveled down with the sap to nourish the roots. As a result, the orchid roots developed strongly. The plant grew noticeably healthier from root to tip. Harmful insects were also eliminated during this process. I cared for the orchids with this solution regularly, once every 2 weeks. When the plant and roots are healthy, the flowers will naturally be better nourished, more durable, and more beautiful. I poured the nutrient solution into the watering can, preparing for the next step. Next, I moved the orchid to its designated care area and began watering directly at the roots. I watered evenly, ensuring the nutrients penetrated and were absorbed by the roots to nourish the entire plant. When the roots are healthy, the orchid will grow faster and develop more vigorously. This helps the substrate absorb enough water, allowing the roots to absorb the necessary nutrients. Continue caring for the plants in the garden. The B vitamins in PP and onion peel promote root development, helping new shoots produce more buds. Afterward, I soaked the entire pot for about 20 minutes. This helps the substrate absorb enough water, allowing the roots to absorb the necessary nutrients. After 20 minutes, I took a clean cotton towel and carefully wiped away all the excess fertilizer remaining in the leaf axils and shoots. I wiped thoroughly, absorbing all the remaining water, especially in the shoots and leaf axils, because if left damp for too long, mold will grow very quickly. Orchids with a lot of water and high humidity will immediately develop mold. Therefore, I do this step very carefully, not missing any spot. After wiping, you will see that the orchid leaves are bright and clean, very pleasing to the eye. Clean leaves allow the plant to photosynthesize better and become healthier every day. For the shoots, I also gently used the tip of the towel to clean the inside. After this step, the orchid is completely cleaned, the leaves are bright, the plant is well ventilated and ready to grow vigorously. After soaking the pot for 20 minutes, I took the orchid out and moved it to the garden, placing it in a shady, well-ventilated place with gentle sunlight. Under these conditions, the plant photosynthesizes well and stabilizes aftercare, helping the orchid grow healthily, nourish its roots, and produce longer-lasting flowers. After a month of care, my orchid has changed dramatically. It looks healthy immediately. The leaves are green again, thick, firm, and glossy, no longer looking withered as before. Thanks to the adequate nutrient supply, almost all mold and insects have completely disappeared. The leaves are now very healthy, looking bright green, neat, and the plant has a much more beautiful form. What makes me happiest is the root system. The orchid roots are growing very strongly, covering the rim of the pot, and inside the growing medium, a series of new, healthy, white root tips are sprouting, full of vitality. Along with that, tender new leaves are emerging, showing that the plant is recovering very well. Not only the leaves and roots, but the plant has also sprouted flower stalks. The results after a month were very clear. The orchid was healthy overall, with beautiful leaves, abundant roots, and was vigorous and ready for the next flowering season. Some plants have produced one, some have produced new stalks, proving that the orchid has returned to normal growth and has enough strength to nourish flowers. With proper care and the right nutrients, orchids will respond very well. What do you think of this orchid care method? Don't hesitate to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I really want to hear your feedback and experiences. Every share from you is a valuable source of motivation that helps us learn and love plants more every day.